Welcome back to Sonic Adventure. Last time we saved Delta and Epsilon, and now we need to save Zeta. He's here in the hot shelter, which is Gamma's final stage, and probably the only one where you have to actually worry about the time limit running out. It's a pretty long one, and I honestly really like it because it's long. It's the only one that has a good amount of space in it, you know? The other stages are really short, and I guess that makes sense when it comes to Gamma's kind of time limit nature. But, you know, you can have a long stage with the time limit as long as you chock it full of enemies that you can kill so you can get your time back. That is something I wanted to go into with Gamma's stages, and a lot of the stages in general. The illusion of speed, I guess I'll call it. With Sonic, you're going through the stages and you're going fast because you're Sonic. With Tails, you're going through and you're racing someone, so the game is forcing you to be fast. With Knuckles, he's just kind of naturally fast, even though his gameplay isn't all that speed oriented. His is more explorative. So it kind of fits him, but it's not exactly Sonic, which is what the main problem that a lot of people have with this game is. Amy, you also have to go fast. Because, well, maybe not go fast, but be precise, which I guess going fast also counts as that. Because her stages have Zero chasing you, it's sort of a time limit that's variable, I guess. A variable time limit, that's what I'll call it. Big doesn't really have that. He has his froggy capturing missions, which are kind of like with Knuckles. You gotta find the goal and then actually get to it. And then there's Gamma here, who I think is speed oriented. He has the time limits on his stage, so you gotta be quick. And you also need to be precise because you need to get those high combos. If you get hit, I didn't mention this before, if you get hit in the middle of holding down the button and getting your combo up, you'll lose all those hits. So like you'll start back at the beginning of the combo essentially. You'll have to lock onto everything all over again. And if something's out of range, you won't be able to lock onto it anymore. Kind of presenting a risk-reward sort of system where you can lock onto things for a long time and wait for your multiplier to go up, but you'll be losing out on a lot more because of that. You're risking a lot more by locking onto things that you can't lock onto anymore. That's pretty much what I'm trying to say here. This section wasn't in anybody else's version. We get to go on a train and try to ride to the top of the... well, not the top, the front of the train. And then just kind of let the train stop at the station. I guess coconuts conduct the train, and that was a pretty cheap shot. I mean, I couldn't get out from there. There's a little barrier around. Whatever. Considering the length of the stage, I could see a lot of people dying to it, and there's also quite a few bottomless pits. In fact, in a previous take at the very beginning of the stage, I fell down a bottomless pit that I retook because, well, you don't want to see me fail, do you? I hope you don't. There's enough of that in this part right now. That section right there, you want to fall down slowly at certain points. If you fall down pretty much where all the coconuts are, you can slow yourself down, lock onto a bunch of them, and then get a good amount of time. I'd say 30-ish seconds if you lock onto all of them. But it also wastes your time by slowing you down. As I said, that risk-reward system going on there. Here we have Zeta. Zeta, was it? And we need to just kind of shoot all of his turrets out. He has like Dreamcasts on him on the sides. Those gray spots, those are actual Dreamcast pictures, like from the top down. You can see him more clearly right here. But he's pretty simple. You just ride around him, going in the same direction that the platform is spinning in, so counterclockwise it looks like. And just keep shooting at the turrets that are around him. The last one you'll get is probably the one that isn't facing toward the camera and you might not be able to see it. Honestly, you can probably kill him by locking onto a bunch of things and not realize why you killed him. Just shoot wildly. Now that we've defeated... Dang, I keep forgetting the name. Was that Zeta? That was Zeta. Okay. Now that we've defeated Zeta, we can go on to the last of the Eggman robots, E-Series, rather. And Gamma comes to another realization here that he himself is part of the E-Series, and that in the end, after all is said and done, he needs to destroy himself. That is a pretty intense thing for a child's game. At least I think so. Kind of sad as well. But first we need to get the job done and finally defeat Beta. For some reason, a lot of bosses are at that big central engine area of the egg carrier. Like, we fought Chaos 6 there as Knuckles and Big. We fought Zero there. And now we're fighting E101 Beta Mark II here. He's a bit of a difficult boss fight, but a really cool one in my opinion. When he isn't vulnerable, he basically swats all your shots away. He can create a bunch of rockets to shoot at you, 4 at a time. Well, even more later on. He has a rainbow shield that he projects, and when he does that, he decides that he's gonna do a lunge at you. After he does that lunge, he'll be stunned for a bit, excuse me, and you'll be able to attack him at that point. So wait for him to lunge and then shoot him. Make sure you keep a lock on him after he does the lunge, because it's kind of hard to get him after he's done the lunge. He will also kind of teleport away and start shooting a bunch of blasts at you. These are not too difficult to dodge. You just kind of run around in a circle for the most part. The last one does have a larger blast radius than the other ones. Getting touched by the blast radius will hurt you, so make sure you dodge that. But this is pretty much the final hit. That's Beta done and dusted. It's a pretty good theme for this final boss as well. I think it's a good jam, as I put it previously. And that's the last thing we have to do is Gamma. That's the end of his playthrough. He doesn't have any more stages, any more bosses. We're done. Well, except, like, we gotta watch the cutscene and the credits. But after that, that's about it. And as Gamma walks towards him, one last Kamehameha wave. Jeez, alright. That was kind of not cool, man. You had me convinced you were dead. And now he explodes just like all the other robots. And we see a white bird fly out of him. Oh shoot, I forgot to say what the other animals were that flew out of the other E-Series robots. Well, whatever. This one's more important than all the other ones, okay? This white Flicky here, we saw at the end of Amy's playthrough, alongside a pink Flicky. And it's apparently family members with the blue Flicky, as we saw in the finale of Amy's playthrough. There was that picture flashing up again. Gamma might be, you know, seeing something that maybe he shouldn't be seeing. And I like this little animation right here. Wait for it. The way he turns around. It's really good. It's good, okay? This is a Dreamcast game, and it's good. And that's the end of Gamma. He doesn't reappear in this form in any other games. He does have, like, a counterpart that appears later on, but it's not Gamma. And we get this sad rendition of his theme playing, just briefly. And I think a lot of people can guess what animal was inside of Gamma. He does consider Zeta a brother. Not Zeta, Beta a brother. So it makes sense if the animals inside of them were related, right? I think so. That's it for Gamma. Here we get to hear Gamma's theme, which is just called E102 Gamma. I will have the lyrics in the... That's a trophy right there. That kind of spoils what's gonna be happening. And also, I was gonna make a joke about there not actually being lyrics, but the trophy had to ruin it for me. Whatever, there are no lyrics to this one. I don't have to spend an hour or so on closed captions, typing everything out. You can just listen to the theme as I talk over it. As I've said before, Gamma's is a really good story, and probably my favorite story in this game. He only appears in this game, so all of his character development happens in this game. You're pretty much getting an entire story of a character in what equates to 3 parts of this playthrough. So that's pretty interesting, first and foremost. His gameplay, I liked it. I liked it a lot, actually. The whole lock-on targeting thing, the combo-based action, I guess I'll call it, was very interesting. And the clock ticking down, again, giving the sort of illusion of speed to this character, so you can't go complaining. Not all the characters in Sonic Adventure are fast. Like, I explained that 4 out of 6 of them, so 2/3 of them, rely on you going fast. Well, not rely, but one of their main things is that you gotta go fast. So, no complaints there, okay? This theme is really good. I like Gamma's theme a lot. The techno and the piano. Its lack of lyrics kind of sucks. I'd love to sing this song maybe while no one's around in like the shower or something where no one can hear me. I do that with a lot of Sonic songs, but you didn't hear that from me. Actually, you did just now. Never mind. It's always the credits where I start going lackluster. I'll go more into that when I do the last credits for the last story. By the way, there's a last story. That trophy pretty much spoiled it for you, but I was gonna say so anyway at the end of the credits, so whatever. But we do have one more story that we gotta go through. And, of course, Gamma isn't gonna be participating in that story because, well, he's not really here anymore. But we do have that Flicky that came out of him, so it's not as sad as you might think. Gamma's not really dead. It's just that he did what he was setting out to do with his other robot friends, the other E-series. There is Gamma with the Master Emerald. That does not make any sense. That didn't happen. But back to what I was saying. Gamma's goal was to save the E-series robots by allowing the animal buddies inside of them to fall out. Well, not fall out, but to break out, essentially. Allowing them to live, without having to follow Eggman's orders. Because that's kind of what Gamma did himself. He decided that they shouldn't be following Eggman's orders and that they should do their own thing, think for themselves instead of being mindless robots. Which kind of makes a bit of a paradox, I guess, because Gamma is, deciding to live his own life, but he's also deciding for others how they're gonna live their lives. That's some pretty dang deep stuff for a Sonic game. You don't get, you don't get that kind of thing in Sonic Heroes. It is kind of me going all fan wanky, and did I say that? I did not say that. Fan fiction-y, that's what I said, okay? And kind of overthinking about it. But Sonic games can do story, and they could do good story. Being serious and all. Next time we'll be starting up the last campaign.